Hey, Coach, thanks for taking the time today. We're going to
Thanks.
start with Ruben, and then we'll go to Elliot.
Hey Nick, how's it going?
Hey, Rube.
Hey, you guys have 10 plays, scrimmage plays of 40 yards or more, which is more than any other, it's well more than any other team. And they've come in different ways, short passes that have gone for big plays, deep balls, runs. I wanted to ask kind of what those plays mean to the offense and to have that at your disposal to be able to hit those fairly regularly.
Yeah, we talk a lot about explosive plays, um, and our definition of explosive plays is 40s majorly explosive. So our definition with explosive plays is like, hey, you get explosive plays, it creates points, right, and vice versa on defense. Um, and like I said, I was going here. The definition of our explosive plays are 20. Give or take. I won't get into all our specifics there, but give or take around there. So to create one that's double that, even puts your chances of scoring up even more. So constantly want to be able to create those. We have the players to be able to create those. Yeah, the guys have done a good job of hitting on, Jalen yesterday. I don't know how, I think the one to AJ was probably like 43 yesterday. But what a great throw by Jalen. What a great route by AJ. Had a couple by Saquon yesterday. So again, when you're able to hit those and be explosive, it gives you a better chance to score points.
Hey Nick, piggybacking off that a little bit, you guys have zero turnover worthy plays the last 2 weeks, but you do still have some big plays down the field. How do you go about coaching a player to make sure they're cautious with the ball and they're thinking about it while not like suppressing their ability to take some chances and make big plays?
Yeah, that just takes you try to think through all those different things and um, as far as how you carry the ball, because I think you're talking about two different things as far as that. Like, I think there's the part of it where it's the quarterback, because the quarterback's got a very specific job there, and then the ball carrier on top of that. So like the ball carrier, you just harp on the way the ball is carried. And there's a lot of elements to that, whether you're going through the line of scrimmage, whether you just caught the ball and you're tucking it, whether you're on the sideline, whether you're in traffic, whether you're making a move, all those different things. You just try to reenact those things and put them in those positions as often as you possibly can. And that's what you're trying to do in practice, is simulate the game as much as you possibly can. And so that's what we try to do there, and we talk about it a lot. I think what you're talking probably more about, Elliot, is really it applies to Jalen. Is
Mm-hmm.
hey, you got to be able to take care of the football while still being explosive, and that's why the quarterback is who he is. How important he is to the football team, because it takes, hey, we got to be able to take receivers that are open downfield, while also not wanting to force it. And I think that's just the repetitions of the different plays that the plays that he sees versus all the different looks that he can get. And so you want to take what they give you. Sometimes that's more risk than other times, but I think that's just playing the quarterback position, is constantly taking what they give you. Do they open the things up down the field? And then but as far as the next part goes, is how you're protecting the ball when you're carrying it, because I think that's just different, is how you have the ball and you're taking care of it when you're carrying it, and how you have to go through reads and stuff like that. And I think that's what you're talking about.
Thank you.
We'll go to Brooks and then Dave.
Hey Nick, in this game, you guys almost doubled the amount of under center snaps that you had and ran on all but one, and were effective there, about 6 yards per carry. A, why was that to work in this specific game plan? Or are there things, B, that were revealed that you feel might help the offense going forward?
Yeah, again, every game plan requires different action. Based off the defense that you're playing, you still want to stay true to who you are, and the things that you do well, and the things that are part of your offense, and the things that mesh with your offense well. But then every game plan calls for a little bit different. So I think, you know, I can't tell you the last time we came out of a game and we only threw it 14 times. So again, it's not only the game plan, but also the flow of the game and the way the game is going. We had a lot of 4-minute snaps yesterday. meaning, we were running out. I think at the end of the game, we were run, threw it a couple times. But all those things play into it, and that's just the way a game plays out.
We'll go to Dave and then Ed.
Hey Nick, now that you've had Quinion and Cooper in the starting lineup for 2 games together, what have you taken away most from their play, and also what you've seen from them behind the scenes all year?
Yeah, I think I see two guys that love the game of football and are willing to do everything they can to get better at it. Highly competitive guys, very serious about football. Good teammates, work really hard. All those things that you see out of these guys on a daily basis. And it's good to have their youth and energy out in the field. And they've put together some good games in a row. Coop obviously just starting to become our starter and at the nickel position. He's had 2 good games in a row, and Quinion's been good. Throughout the time that he's been here. He's not fazed by, anything. I think he just goes out and competes and plays his game. He's had a lot of production on the football. I think those are looking like 2 really, really good draft picks. That's really helping our defense grow.
We'll go to Ed and then Jeff.
Yeah, hi, Nick. Just want to ask you, I know, these backups prepare every week like they're going to start. What did you see when Tyler Steen stepped in yesterday from him? And then kind of secondly on the offensive line, who is Fred Johnson's primary backup, or who's the key swing tackle? Is it Driscoll, Kennard, or is it game by game?
Yeah, again, I feel like we have good depth there to have different options. And Coach Stout does a good job of rotating the guys at different spots. So I feel like we have good options there. With our depth, with Jordan out and Fred being starting on the offensive line. There's been a lot of guys that Makai's done it. And so it could be a lot of different answers there. And that's a good thing that you have options. As far as Tyler Steen goes, when he stepped in, in the middle of that game when Makai went down, I thought he played a really good game. There was a long run by Saquon that him and Lane are having a combination block with 97. He's a really 97. Obviously, is a phenomenal football player. And they combo him, Lawrence, to the linebacker, and Steen has just this perfect timing of when to get off onto the linebacker and leave Lane with Dexter Lawrence in the place in the crease. And so that takes a lot of work together. That takes a lot of timing together, a lot of practice time together to really fit that block properly. And so just couldn't say enough about the guys and their work ethic, their faith in each other. I definitely see that within the offensive line. Hey, this guy's down. I got faith in the next guy, and they constantly talk about it. And it's awesome when it shows up on tape like that.
We'll go to Jeff and then John.
Hey, Nick. I understand that defensive snaps are down, and some of it had to do with matching personnel. But Jordan Davis only played 12 snaps. More Jomo played probably almost double that. Is that a change in how you guys are using Jordan? And do you think that he can be a 3-down guy?
Yeah, I think that's just the flow of that game, of how that kind of played out. They were in some more must-pass scenarios. And Jordan, I definitely know can be a 3-down guy. He has strengths. Definitely in the run game is one of his biggest strengths. There's a play yesterday where he kind of pushes the center back into the play. Brandon Graham does a good job of holding the edge of a slice blocker on the edge, and they kind of blow up the run. But I think it was just we got a lot of faith in Jordan, and he's done a great job of taking care of his body and being in great shape. So we know that he can play more plays than he did, but it was just the way the game played out yesterday with some of the more known pass. And Moro's been doing a good job in those scenarios. That's kind of his specialty, is being able to rush the passer And he's done a good job of it. Thinking back to the high ball that he forced in the New Orleans game on a critical third down, and he's had other obviously reps like that since then that have put our faith high in him as well. But no, again, how it played out, and got faith in both those guys to perform on both sides there as far as the run and the pass.
We'll go to John and then Martin.
Hey, Nick, two quick ones real quick. Is anything behind the sweatshirt ever in danger, I guess? And then just your general philosophy when you see games like that and people talk about identity or formula, is that a real thing to you? Do you search for stuff like that?
Yeah, as far as that goes, identity, you do have something that you hang your hat on, and I think that's always your core values, and then our identity is constantly adjusting, changing, figuring it out as the year goes, changes a little bit based off, who you're playing. I know that, because we really take pride in our identity being our core values, being a team, playing with great detail, playing with toughness, being accountable. And scheme stuff is constantly adjusting, to say. And sometimes the identity and the game is to run it as much as we did yesterday, excuse me. And sometimes the identity is to pass it a bunch, right? And so I think that's just constantly changing and adjusting. As far as the sweatshirt, this was a gift from Coach Singleton, and I like the sweatshirt.
Thanks, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to Martin and then Bob.
Hey, Nick. I know you were kind of asked yesterday about Jalen not having any turnovers the last two games, and I was wondering if you think that's a product of him not forcing stuff as much and trusting his guys. And then on the other hand, I mean, he did throw those two deep balls to AJ Brown in kind of critical situations. So I guess what do you make of the fact, that he hasn't had the turnovers, and is he playing differently, or is AJ just being back a big part of that too?
Yeah, again, Jalen plays the hardest position in sports, in my opinion, where these guys are, coming down there trying to kill you, and he's got to make split decisions on where to go with the football based off of a defense that's trying to deceive you of what they're playing, and, and then have to be accurate with the throw on top of that, while somebody is right in the hip of the receiver, at times, and sometimes they're open by a bunch too. So, again, it takes, a ton of reps. It takes a ton of study, and Jalen's done so much of that to, and he knows how important it is to take care of the football, but he also knows how important it is to win the explosive play battle. So that's not something where, hey, that's what we talk about each week. Hey, let's win the explosive play battle and let's win the turnover battle. Well, a lot of that falls on his shoulders of being able to push the ball when it needs to be pushed. And sometimes, you get explosive plays. Yesterday we have a check down to Kenny Gainwell. It wasn't an explosive, but it was darn close, of a 12-yard gain because Kenny got the ball in space and was able to make a guy miss. So a lot that plays into it. I think, he's been playing good football, and, taking care of the ball, and, have this 2-game win streak, and, he's touching the ball every play. So he's a big part of that and big reason why.
Thanks.
We'll go to Bob and then Bo.
Hey, Nick, you guys are the last 3 years are 71% on fourth down. It's the best percentage in the league. You weren't so successful your first year out of 45. I think it was 45 first year. But what does that do for an offense? Its confidence. I know someone's the tush push, but what does it do for an offensive confidence when you have that success rate?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, you saw yesterday that led to 21 points. Where, if you didn't have that confidence in the guys, then that's potentially 9 points, right? Or you punt on one of them because you're a little bit out of range. So I think that's huge. It's, again, you're constantly thinking about how you score touchdowns, how you score touchdowns, and you're pissed when you got to kick a field goal. And so that extra down gives you a lot to be able to do that. You got to have faith in the guys to be able to do that. And so it takes it's been it's been a big key to our success these last couple years is that success on fourth down, turning 3-point plays, turning 3 points into 7 points. But the 4th and 3 around the 43 yesterday with AJ and Jalen, just protection was really good. Jalen took a little bit of hit, but put a perfect throw on to AJ, who ran a perfect route. That's huge. And then there was that 4th and 2, I believe it was, in our own at the 9-yard line or whatever. They dropped 8. Jalen was patient, and then he went and made an unbelievable play. And so again, when you can extend drives and give yourself a chance to score, 7 as opposed to 3, all these games are tight, and so those make a big difference. All the credit goes to our guys, and because of how they go out there and succeed, how they go out there and prepare and handle it.
Thank you.
We'll go to Bo and then Olivia.
Hey, Nick, I know that he wasn't asked to do a ton necessarily. He only had to throw one pass, but in the snaps that Kenny got, are you able to learn anything meaningful about the way he runs the offense for if he is called into action down the road?
Yeah, I think you learn that as practice goes. It's a little, we were in kind of a different mode with the way the score was and where we were. We were in a different mode. So, yeah, anytime you go in there and you're able to get snaps in a game, you're analyzing how he's making checks, different like that. To say we were running our offense would be, obviously you guys know that wasn't the case. So it's a tough spot for a quarterback to be in. Hey, we're going to run it on 3rd down. And I don't think any quarterback really likes to hear that. But but we get our confidence in Kenny through practice, through preparation, through his preseason, through all the different things. We obviously get to see him every day, and thought he was really good in practice last week, getting our defense ready to play in this game.
Thank you.
We'll end with Olivia and then Zach.
Hey, Nick, yesterday was Sydney Brown's first game back since early January, the regular season finale. As someone who had a front row seat to his rehab, what was it like just as his coach getting to see him get out there? And then also what kind of energy did he bring to practice and then ultimately in the game yesterday? Just kind of, getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah, I think everybody gets excited about Sydney and the physicality he plays with, the effort he plays with, the love for this game that he plays with. There's a play yesterday on the tackle that he has as the gunner. They kind of come out to double team him, and he gets a shot on the guy on the vice, the guy that's coming over on the vice, and has great block destruction on his way to making a great tackle in open field in space. And that's the type of thing that we've come accustomed to over the year plus that we've been with Sydney. Have come accustomed to really enjoy about him, the big playability, the explosive playability. I think that's just, and everybody, I just saw how hard he worked to get back. That guy, he just attacked his off season of trying to get himself back ready to play football. And, the way he attacked it in the, rehab, within the training room, but also just the mental reps that he would get. I mean, every time you'd watch him, he was always getting mental reps. He was always behind the play. He was always just taking steps to simulate that he was in there. And that guy prepared for this moment. And now I'm happy he's back. And I think it'd be sweet if he gets a cool hit on his brother this week or in this game. But so happy that he's back and playing. For us again, because we know what a spark he can be and the energy that he brings to the team.
We'll end with Zach here.
Hey, good afternoon, Nick. What takeaways did you have from the 3rd down cutaways today? And then also on the 3 3rd and shorts, do you go into those knowing you'll go for it on 4th down?
Yeah, it depends on the situation of the game, Zach. Like sometimes yes, sometimes no. You're always trying to play the scenario. Sometimes that calls for kicking a field goal no matter what. Sometimes that calls for, going for it in these scenarios. So that's to our advantage as an offense that the defenses don't always understand, know when we're doing that and when we're not doing that because it's different. Each drive, each play, each game situation. The first part of that question, Zach, I'm sorry.
The
third downs?
The third downs. What stood out when you watched them back today?
Yeah, obviously we got to be more efficient on third down. We kind of count some of those third downs if you convert on fourth down because you're playing, like you said, to set it up as a win. But we have to be more efficient on those third downs, and we'll a lot of different reasons why. Always will start with us is did we put them in position to succeed, and did we execute? Always going to go in that order, and some thoughts that we had after we looked at it, some different thoughts of protection, some different thoughts of route concepts, some different routes of one-on-ones, that we'll experiment with as we continue to move forward.
Thank you.
Thanks for the time, Coach.
Thanks, guys.